Rock Chat with Trace.
Welcome to Rock Chat with Trace. Today I am talking to Simone from the prog metal band DGM. Hello Simone, and welcome to Rock Chat with Trace. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I'm Simone Mularoni. I'm the guitar player and producer of the band DGM. I also own the Domino Studio, which is a studio facility here in Italy. That's it. I basically play guitar and mix records all day since 20 years, every day.
When did you start playing the guitar?
I started when I was like 14, 15, because my father plays guitar. So I was surrounded by music and guitar since day one. It took 13, 14 years for me to get in love, and I never stopped since then.
Can you describe the band's sound?
Yeah, they call us progressive, maybe because of the length of the songs and the complexity of the arrangements, lots of solos and stuff like that. But mainly I think it's melodic heavy metal. And sometimes it's more prog, sometimes it's more power, sometimes I don't know the right label, but basically it's power prog heavy stuff. But the main focus is always the melody, like in everything, like solos, vocals, stuff like that.
Your new album, Tragic Separation, came out on the 9th of October. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, I think it's a natural follow-up to the Passage, the previous one, because we basically didn't change the methods in songwriting and I don't want to say it's the same thing, because the songs are different and we have some different elements here and there, but basically we're trying to achieve a DGM sound, like a specific trademark, and that's it. And I think this album represents exactly what we like nowadays as a band.
Some of the song titles, such as Hope, Tragic Separation, could be linked to the current situation. So was the writing of the album influenced by COVID-19 at all?
Well, not the writing, because we finished writing the album in November 2019, so it was outside the COVID situation. But all the recordings and production of the album were done right in the middle of the lockdown and quarantine. So maybe not the lyrics and stuff like that is related to the virus, but the atmosphere of the album, it's all inside it. I think something is inside, I will for sure remember this album forever, the making of it, because it was in a really strange atmosphere and situation.
What's the inspiration behind your new album?
The main inspiration, I don't know. I think most of the ideas of the album came out after live gigs, live shows. Because I'm the main songwriter of the band, and sometimes I have these periods also working in the studio every day. I'm so tired of writing and playing music that I need to rest my ears. And I have these periods 1-2 months that I really don't feel the inspiration coming in. So I'm always worrying how could I write the next album without ideas? But then we go out, we play live shows, and right after I come back, it's always a fresh sparkle, fresh ideas are coming. So I think the main inspiration for this album were all the tours that we did after the Passage, all the live shows.
After The Passage came out in 2016, you're quoted as saying, "This album can easily be seen as our most ambitious work to date." How does the new album compare?
I think, as I said before, it's on the same level. Of course, every musician always says, the latest album is the best one. And I honestly think the same for this one, because it's the first time in many years that I still enjoy listening back to the album right after I finished it. And I really can't wait for people to listen. I don't know if it's the most ambitious, or it sounds like, I don't want to sound arrogant, but it's of course it's the best we could do now. Nowadays, that's what I think. It's every album for me that we put out is 200% of what we can do, both on the performance, the songwriting, and everything, videos, and so it's, if you want to call it ambitious, then it's the most ambitious. But otherwise, I think it's a good record, and we're happy with it.
How did the video for Flesh and Blood come about?
Oh, that was mainly our director he's in love with Iceland, you know, the whole surrounding and landscapes. And he always wanted to go there shooting the video. And when he heard the song, he told me, in the beginning, he told me, oh, you gotta cut the song because it's like 8 minutes. We cannot do a single with 8 minutes. You know, nowadays it's all like 3-4 minutes. Everything is super short and fast. But I was so convinced about the song. I told him, hey, find a way to fill up 8 minutes without being boring. Then he had this idea of course, the main story, you know, the guy and blah, blah, blah. But mainly, it's all about the visuals, you know, like these beautiful landscapes and also the place where we shoot band stuff. It's a place 2 hours from here, from my hometown, and it's kind of massive, like 200 meters high, and it was also scary shooting the video in that place. But I think that the result is for sure our best video we ever done.
How did you approach recording the guitar solos?
Question, because I don't know the answer. I mean, my main goal every time is, like I said before, is to give 500%. It's like, if I have an idea and I think it's good, then I spend 10 hours more on that idea, searching the way to make it better, you know? So it's more the matter of composing the right notes more than the actual playing, you know, because the recording of the solos is always, it's like a gym, you know, you sit down, you record until it's really clean and whatever. But for me, the most stressful but also great, you know, it's this combination between of stressful, oh, I gotta find the best part for the solo, but also it's a joy. I could stay like 3 days doing the same 8 bars, you know, everybody will be like, oh, stop it. But I like to repeat and play over and over the stuff until I'm happy. So that, I don't know if there's a static approach, I mean, one way that I approach, but my method is like that. It's like repeating, and searching for the best notes.
Fans have mentioned about doing purely an instrumental album. Is that something you would consider?
No, never. Everybody say never, but in our case, vocals are so important, and especially vocal lines, melodies in DJM, and also in my vision of music. I grew up listening to the classics, instrumental albums, but for me this is like holy grail. I could never approach an album like that. For us, it's all about writing a song. So for us, the song is a chorus, a refrain, and a special, and vocals. So I think it will never happen.
When you're producing DGM, how do you separate being the guitarist to being the producer?
I don't. That's why I get so stressed. It's really the worst period of every cycle. I mean, it's strange because every time I say to myself, oh, I would love to get another person involved to follow with the production so I can just do the guitar player. But after like 2 minutes I get, no, I gotta control how the guitars, you know, how the 0.2 dBs in the highs, and I'm a control freak, and of course doing the job that I do, it doesn't help, you know, it would be strange to have someone else, but this time I tried to ask for help for a few friends, you know, like editing some of the stuff, some of the work on the album I tried to ask for help, but the main things like the choosing of the sound, the choosing of the parts, it was me, and it's really, I mean, I don't want to say stressful, but the most difficult part is to be objective, actually, because when I mix another band's album, it's easy for me. I can recognize a mistake or stuff in 2 seconds, but when it's my stuff, I'm always questioning myself, you know, like, is this right enough? But my bandmates are really helping out because I always send them all the stuff, you know, all the files and checking if they like it. Is this right in your opinion? So I gotta say, after 15 years, I'm getting used to it. But maybe one day I will. I have my heroes in producing. Maybe one day I'll be lucky enough to have them producing one of my albums.
Do you adjust your production style to working with different bands?
I always I always become the other member of the band, you know. I get super passionate, like if it was my band. So usually listening their demos, and then when they come to the studio, I had them in every note from the drums to the end. You know, I tried to change arrangements, of course, according to my taste. Not always, they don't always agree, but most of the time, you know. If someone chooses a producer, it's because they like what he does, you know. I would never produce a jazz record, not because I don't like it, but because I don't know how to do it. So it's always like a strong relationship during the production of the album between me and the band. And I gotta say, most of the time it works. Some other times I don't want to say it doesn't work, because we always finish the album, but a lot of time you find bands that are they have clear ideas of what they want. So even if you tell them 2,000 advices, like, oh, you should do this, they will follow you. But still, they trust you about the sound, so it's always... And it's cool that it's like this, otherwise heavy metal world will have like 1,000 records that sounds like DJM. One is enough.
Do you prefer to mix an album or to produce it?
Nowadays, I must say to mix, because producing an album, and if you also put in recording, it means staying 1 month, 2 months, every day with the band, 8-10 hours per day, and it's really stressful. Nowadays, after a lot of time that I'm doing this, I really prefer mixing, because I am on my own, I can choose my own sounds and doing stuff. But then, even if I say this, after 1 month that I'm only mixing, I miss having people in the studio, you know, arguing, fighting, discussing. So I gotta say 50-50.
Anything else you wish to mention?
That I really hope that people will enjoy this album, and it's really a pity that we cannot do live shows, because it's the first time in all my career that I have an album out and I cannot do shows to promote it. But I still hope that people will take 1 hour of their time to give it a spin and hopefully enjoy it.
Where can people buy the album?
I think nowadays, wherever, like Amazon, Frontiers shop, and our website, whatever, like Spotify. But if there's a wonderful vinyl that will come out together with the CD, so that will be a great item for collectors and stuff like that. I'm sure Amazon will have everything.
DGM new album, Tragic Separation, is out on the 9th of October, and I'd like to thank Simon for being my guest on Rock Chat with Trace.